Well, it's a classic puff pastry made with an Italian twist and from scratch pesto. Chef Jamar Griddine stopped by to show us how to make homemade Italian puff pastry. Why have you selected these?
Okay, so we're gonna put this homemade pesto inside. And you know, when you think about Italian cuisines, everything is about pesto and it's about sauces, right?
Right.
And so you gotta have pesto in there. And then we're gonna put some Parmesan. I love Parmesan cheese. I don't know about you guys, but Parmesan, mozzarella, ruga, Gouda, anything.
Delicioso.
Yeah, delicioso. Come porcino, as they say. And then we got some cilantro for garnish, and we have pico, homemade pico. The pico is made with tomatoes, onions, garlic, salt, pepper, and cilantro. And then we also have bell peppers. That's gonna go on this. So even though it's down, you still wanna roll it out some more.
Okay.
Because you gotta be able to cuff it, right? So we're gonna roll it out. We're gonna grab our flour here. And we're just gonna kind of roll out the pan. And you wanna roll it out just to about like that thin. You wanna make it that thin.
Okay, so the consistency, it's stretched. That way you can put all the goodies that we've just talked about inside, and it'll of course make for that lovely puff pastry.
I'm gonna have you put the pesto in, so you want to just put just a dash.
Just a dash.
Yeah,
so
just a dash.
This was something I really would like to touch on because I have only ever bought it from the bottle. Okay, so you know, how do you actually make homemade pesto?
Okay, so pesto is made with basil, olive oil, salt, pepper, and garlic. And so what you do is you put it in a blender and you want to blend it up. And so if it's too thick, you add as much olive oil as you want.
So that's going to really gauge the consistency.
Yes. Now it could be too water, it could be too wet, but you know, let's go ahead and add more, you know what, because it's kind of big, right?
Okay, so you really need it.
Yeah, why not, right?
We're adding a lot of flavor in there. Now, after we put this on,
yes,
are we going to move on to the cheese?
So we're going to move on to the bell peppers, actually.
Bell peppers, okay.
Yes, bell peppers. So basically with the bell peppers, you just want to take a handful of some. I have small hands, I don't know about you.
Okay.
But yeah, you just take a handful and
There
you
we
just
go.
kind of put them all in there.
Now, let's say that maybe we didn't have all the peppers. What would be some other vegetables you could sub in?
So if you don't have peppers, if you don't have Parmesan, you can use any type of cheese. And for the veggies, you can do any type of veggies. Normally I do, I also have a prosciutto that I want to do well. Prosciutto and ricotta, and it's just amazing. So you can substitute for anything.
Okay, now what's our next step here?
Next is the Parmesan.
Parmesan, okay. Sprinkle this in?
Yeah, just sprinkle it on.
Okay, we're gonna go with some there. Now, how did you actually get started cooking?
So I started cooking when I was young, and my mom actually started baking first before I started cooking. And so that's the amazing part about it is, you know, chefs they're trained to do two things, bake and cook. Now, as you get older, you get to choose whether you like baking or cooking. I like cooking more because it's creative. You can be inventive, and with baking,
you can make a whole meal.
Yeah, and with baking, you have to follow the recipes like science.
Okay, so now where are we gonna move for?
Now we're gonna move to the egg wash.
Egg wash, okay.
Yes, so with this, you take your finger, it doesn't matter, and you kind of just wipe the edges. And this helps it, this forms it all together.
Okay, and the last time I used egg wash, it was for pigs in a blanket. So that did not go so well. So do you have any tips for us if we were doing this at home?
Well, if you're doing this at home, you don't have a paintbrush, you can also use a spoon. Just be very careful when you're doing this. Like I said, I usually just use my finger because it's easier and it's faster that way. So you could I'll let you try the other two. And then we're actually gonna fold these so that way they look like puff pastries. So when you fold it, you actually want to tighten the edges. Okay?
Oh, wonderful.
And so it's gonna look like a little triangle when you get done with it. You're gonna bake it from 350 degrees. You're gonna bake it for about 15-20 minutes. And when you take it out, you're gonna add the pico de gallo, the cilantro, and the balsamic reduction here that we made earlier.
This is amazing. I really appreciate it.
You taste the butter, don't you?
Oh, you definitely do. And that tasted so good. Jamar also made another version where the puff pastries rolled out, veggies on top, covered with that balsamic glaze. And again, that one was as equally good.